Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
So I'm with Michael Narimalla,
Yeah.
right? So you're the DOP. You're kind of a big deal in this film, or in any film.
Yeah.
Really. You're the director of photography.
Yeah.
I first wanted to ask you how you would describe the look of this film, particularly.
Well, Dead End was shot almost exclusively handheld on a DSLR camera, so it kind of gives it a documentary-esque feel, which was really effective for this project because it really puts you in the action because you are the eyes of the camera and you feel like you're right there with the characters. So that's the look Taz asked me for at the beginning of the project, and that's what we went with for the last year.
I love it. I love it. How long did this whole process take? I mean,
we started filming November 2012.
Okay.
So it's been almost a year and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, long time. But I mean, that's what it takes to put together a project like this with this many people, and
Very true.
everyone has different schedules. So Taz did a really amazing job of tying us all together.
Yeah, no, that's great. And you have to have a lot of patience, and you're obviously good at what you do. So probably, between the patience and the technicality component of it,
Right.
must be fun for you. Either
Oh,
way.
it's a great time, and
Yeah.
I was always looking forward to Dead End shoots. They popped up, randomly throughout the year. So it was always a highlight of my week.
Awesome,
Yeah.
good. So you mentioned the type of camera you use is DSLR.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you usually shoot with that, or?
No, not usually. DSLR or digital single lens reflex camera, like your Canon or your Nikon, they're really good for a low budget production like this. Normally I would use a larger cinema camera, but the run and gun guerrilla type filmmaking we were doing for this project, the size and mobility of a DSLR really gave us that edge.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And some of the prominent colors in this film, can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, the film hasn't gone through color correction as of yet, but we definitely tried to maintain a realistic type of lighting as opposed to a highly stylized look. So that usually is true daylight or tungsten lighting from our interiors, and we'll enhance that with color correction. But again, staying with the real colors of the light really puts you in the film and makes the whole thing seem more realistic.
Okay, and probably less work too for the edit.
That's true. I'm not coloring it, so I don't know how much work it's going to be for them, but yeah.
Good, awesome. And some of the challenges in this film, shooting it, was there very many or no?
Yeah, there was quite a few actually. I mean, again, because we were shooting this project over such a long period of time, for instance, if I was shooting you, I might not shoot the reverse or who you're talking to for another month. So it was a lot of remembering where our camera was and making sure that it's going to cut together in the future.
Okay.
Whereas normally you would shoot that in one day. Sometimes we didn't have all the actors necessary to do that whole scene in one day. So
That's true.
So again, Taz was really good keeping up on continuity.
Okay, I was just gonna say that was my next question, because obviously, like, when you have to stop and reshoot, and then especially another day, lighting and everything, like, you can't control those things.
No, and again, that was another reason for us to keep it simple. That way we didn't overcomplicate things, and Taz took lots of notes, and he always had a very specific vision in his head that he was able to translate to the crew, and we just took what he said and ran with it. So.
Good. Well, how important is it to work with a director that knows what he's doing? I mean, obviously you know what you're doing as well, to be able to work with someone who's professional and has an eye for it as well. And
Definitely,
knows what he
it's
wants.
essential, and Taz is one of those select few who can kind of do it all. He's a great actor, and he's been trying his hand at directing. I think he did an amazing job, largely because he knows what it's like to be an actor and a stuntman, and he's gone through the whole process before, so he was able to communicate with everybody on the crew on their level.
Yeah.
And that really gave us a sense of community and made the whole shoot more enjoyable.
What was it like, basically, filming those action scenes versus regular dialogue, let's just say?
Yeah, well, this is actually something that was kind of new to me. I've shot lots of short films, commercials, corporate video, things like that, but action and martial arts choreography in particular isn't something you come across every day, and it happens to be Taz's specialty.
Yes, unless you're hanging out with Taz.
Exactly. So he was able to kind of tell me what angle will make this punch look best, what height of camera will make this kick look the most vicious, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it was a real collaboration between both of us, you know, figuring out the best way to shoot these, you know, not only fight scenes, but car chases and explosions, and there's a lot of trick photography going on, and yeah, that's what Taz does best.
So tell me about the experience for you then, like this being new for you, like.
Well, I'm a personal huge fan of just, you know, combat sports and martial arts in general. So for me, it was kind of like kid in a candy store getting to watch
That's cute.
Taz work and choreograph with the other stuntmen and learn the lingo and things like that. And, you know, I got to watch some of their choreography practices and stuff like that. So it was just, you know,
just soaked
the
it all
giddy
in.
schoolboy in me,
Yeah,
you know,
you just
was
soaked it
pumped
all.
about it. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So will you be doing more work like this then,
I definitely hope so. I mean, you know, I hope I'm on Taz's radar now, and anything he has going on in the future, I'd be, you know, very pumped to work on. And likewise, I'm sure in my career I'll come across the need for a talented, handsome action star.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And with regards to the movie itself and what he's doing for, you know, the charities that's tied into it, what do you what's your take on? What do you think of that?
Well, again, something that makes Taz unique is, you know, he doesn't care about a lot of the things that most producers or directors would care about. The people are what's most important to him, whether that be his cast or crew or, you know, just his fellow man. So like you said, he's been doing a lot of charity work, and he always makes sure his time and energy goes to the right places. So it's really awesome to see, and he's an inspiration.
That's awesome. It's true. I mean, no doubt he's going places, and this film's going to be very highly well received because of just that alone.
Yeah, and hopefully the exposure that Dead End that Taz gets will, you know, benefit his charity work as well, and get some exposure for that.
Awesome. I wanted to ask you about how you and Taz met, because I know you guys met on another set.
That's right.
How did you guys form your bond?
I was the second unit director of photography on a project by Love and Crossbones Studios, which are mutual friends of Taz and I, and they were doing a wedding proposal video for a young couple. That was, you know, an action movie trailer that was going to play in the movies along with the other trailers. Oh, wow. So it would be a surprise for her. So Taz was the stunt coordinator on that project and got a chance to see my footage from that, and he approached me at the end of the production and asked me if I'd be interested in working on his passion project, and I saw him drop kick a couple people. I thought that was pretty cool, so I was like, definitely.
He had you at the drop kick.
That's right. I was like, this guy can flip and kick people. I'm in.
I love it. That's awesome.